2, 1, let's go. It's time to Dad Up. Welcome to the Dad Up Podcast, the podcast for dads about dads being dads. Get ready for exciting guests talking about their experiences of parenting, the good and the not so good. Bang that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode, and let's get started. Here is your host, Bryan Ward.
Welcome to another episode of Dad Up, everyone. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'm excited for the guys that I have on today because not only have they created a phenomenal business, but I have first time in my Zoom career that I've had two dads on at the same time. So I wanted to welcome Chris McCasland and Michael Opalski to Dad Up. Welcome to the show, brothers.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys, so let's just kind of dive right in because I love the idea that you guys came up with. And you guys kind of came up with it kind of in a, I guess, as a sense of urgency to kind of find something to do with the whole pandemic that we went through. So I want you guys to kind of share your story and your journey of where you guys started and then how you guys came up with City Bonfires. And then I also have the product here, so I'm going to kind of display it for you guys. And then we'll talk about your families and stuff. So anybody that wants to start, either one of you is fine.
I'm Michael, and so we live in the same neighborhood. So Chris and I were kind of like, neighbors, like hello, like you'd see each other in the yard and across the road, and just kind of quick conversations. But we didn't know each other very much more than that. And then everybody's world changed. I was traveling probably 2-3 weeks a month around the country selling some products to restaurants. Chris.
I was in the entertainment industry. I was a ticket broker and sold tickets to StubHub and Vivid Seats and different secondary market tickets. So obviously, with Michael traveling and my being in the entertainment business, COVID came, and that was the first two things, to get, dropped right away was, shows and, concerts and sporting events. Michael couldn't travel anymore, to sell his equipment. So we were stuck at home, like Michael was saying, and we were just trying to entertain the kids. I have a 5-year-old son, 4-year-old, when COVID started, and Michael has a boy and a girl himself, a little bit older than Brooks. But we were stuck at home, and we were all playing outside, and Michael and I really got to know each other a lot more. And we were kind of just coming up with different things to do. I started looking into Shopify stores and drop shipping in a sense, and just trying to learn more about that. I learned about, how people create the store, and they, the products are in China, and, they just set up a website and you can, buy them from China and just have them shipped directly to the people. And that's what kind of got me started into this Shopify world. And then I realized that you couldn't get anything over here, due to COVID, the ships were stuck and blah, which, it's even worse now than probably then. So we knew I knew at the time that we had to come up with something. And then Michael and I were together every single day, outside playing with the kids. So I was kind of telling him the path that I was going down e-commerce wise. And then we started talking about some things that we could come up with. And we kind of just had like an aha moment with our little mini portable fire pit.
All right. So cool. So let me ask you this. So do you guys kind of became friends kind of through this whole pandemic, kind of became friends? I mean, have you guys as individuals with your own families, are you used to doing the bonfires and stuff like that? Or is this, how did the idea just pop in?
I mean, it's something we had before, and a lot of people have the ones in their backyards. But because the neighborhood kind of changed automatically back to an older style of neighborhood, kind of like what we grew up in more, where the kids all knew each other and weren't inside playing their games all day. Mm-hmm. And so by hanging out more, we were doing more things. And so we were hanging out into the evening. And so fire pits were part of it. And there's a safety issue when you have kids of a certain size.
Lots of s'mores is the real reason.
Yeah. The kids never missed a chance. But there were some concerns just with the kids and the size of like an outdoor fire pit. And then the time commitment of how long it took once you started doing it. And then some people don't like the smoke on them. There's little things. Right. But this is where kind of it started this thought, like, is there a way we could do this more convenient, a little bit easier with less of a time commitment?
Right. Well, that's cool. So just for my listeners and my viewers that are watching, this is the product here. I don't know if you guys can see that, City Bonfires. That's a cool little canister. They got various options on their website. I mean, it's got little marshmallows and graham crackers in there. But it's a cool little concept that you just light it up. It's reusable, right? Reusable.
Yeah.
And it's really nifty. It's not obviously not for indoor use, but outdoor use only. But
Sure.
it's really neat because if you guys look at their website, they got a cool little video and all that stuff on there. So that's awesome. So you guys have now started this business. Where's it taking you? Where have you gone with it?
It's changed our lives so much prior to COVID, and it's just in a whole different way than we ever knew. But it started in my garage. We were hanging out in my garage all day, so that was pretty much last, like July-ish when we started working on it. And then November 1st, so almost a year ago now, in a couple of weeks, we signed a lease and moved into a 3,500 square foot warehouse a few miles from our house, or our homes. And then, so now we've been in there for just about a year. And now we've signed another lease for a new warehouse that's almost 8,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
So it's really ramping up. We're going to be moving in there soon, probably right after Christmas, just so we don't, move in the middle of, our holiday rush here. But it's taken us pretty far. And
Bryan, the other things that are kind of interesting, just, because I was listening to some of your podcasts. So like our kids were really involved in the process. So not only testing it, but like my daughter and I made this logo, like her and I made, and her suggestion was to move the building under the fire to make it look, kind of that way. And so it was really cool because I was traveling a lot. Chris was really busy. The kids were around us and they were seeing us more, and they were much more involved in the process. So not only has it changed how we view things, I think it's going to change how they view things.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine being a child, seeing your fathers work on something and then build it up and go. It can really change the boundaries of what they can think of.
Yeah. And then at the beginning of that, their fathers lost their jobs, like we went to zero, and then we invented something to now provide for our families. Both of our wives do work and have incredible jobs. Correct. And that's great. But, so it's really neat, the experience that we've had, and for the kids as well. I'll know this forever.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so. I really commend you guys for not only coming up with an idea that's helped you guys be able to put yourself in a position where you're providing for the family now with this product, but also that you got your kids involved. And they're excited about it. I mean, think of the potential that when they're older, knowing that they helped you guys start this business and where it may take you, where it may take them, whether it's creating other products. Now, speaking of that, are there other things that you guys are coming up with to kind of piggyback off of this product?
We're definitely in the process of exploring things. We have a couple things that we're walking down the path of beginning with. We've been lucky enough to have an opportunity and to take the opportunity and turn it into, this business. And this business is now, we're trying to now stabilize the business as much as we can and add stuff to it. There's certain products we're exploring for this, and then there's certain products we're exploring totally independent of this.
Yeah. This really woke us up to learning about digital advertising and like Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And so once you kind of learn that world and you, dare I say, understand that world a little bit,
right? Maybe. Yeah.
Your brain starts thinking about daily. You just start thinking about other products that you could sell via those tools, and it's a lot more accessible nowadays, now with how easy the internet is and YouTube and teaching yourself, and anybody could do this and sell online. It's really neat.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge, that's good that you said that, because there are a lot of people that, that may still be out of work, that are trying to think of an idea, something that they could do at home, whether it's an at-home business or just coming up with your own product. So that's really cool that you guys were able to do that. What would you say to people like that are still kind of struggling, still kind of in that mindset of, gosh, I just don't know what to do?
Well, I was talking to my son about it the other day, because my mom had a retail store when I was growing up, and my dad, has his own business as well, but in a different vertical segment. And I was like, when grandma had her store, it was in a strip mall in that town we lived in, and what we have figured out here is now we have a store on like Main Street of the internet.
Right.
And so
the rent is expensive on Main Street of the internet, but
it has a different opportunity. If you can get it, take advantage of the lucky opportunities that are in front of you, it can be really fruitful.
But one thing that I would say, somebody that's sitting at home, that hasn't, doesn't exactly know what they want to do, or which is great. You're learning, and you took this time to learn more about yourself. But one thing that changed my life is YouTube. Unlimited free resources on YouTube, learning about so many different things. And there's so many unlimited videos and unlimited knowledge for free. You got to watch an ad for 5 seconds, but other than that, you have anything, at your fingertips. So the internet and YouTube are how you do it.
Yeah, Bryan. Yeah. When Chris was first working through this process and trying to identify where this could go, I was listening to it and I was like, man, you're going to learn something here that nobody really can teach you right now. It's that far up on the wave, the crest of the wave. And I think it so far has proven pretty true.
Yeah. Well, now let me ask you this. I love the business. I love the business idea. I love that you guys got your families involved. What do you think this has taught your kids? Because obviously this is a dad podcast. So about your kids now, what has this kind of taught them?
Definitely hard work. Michael and I, when we first started this, we were in the garage from 8 a.m. till 11 at night,
awake whenever we were awake.
Yeah. If we were awake, we were pretty much out there, and we were ordering food, eating in the garage. That was fun. How hard we worked, we really, and we still are, I'm not saying, but now we're at the warehouse, and we have a ton of great employees that help us, and we're not working 15-hour days anymore, but we will if we
sure.
We worked this morning, on Saturday.
Yeah.
But just what they've learned is how hard, how much we put into this, and how much our wives have helped and the whole family has helped. And it's our true family business between our two families. And I think they'll remember that forever.
And there's I think most of it is good. There's also the little bit of, they've been used in some of the advertising, so their face has been seen, substantially. So that's something that you also have to, that's new to me to kind of temper. So I don't know what that will cause, but that's something I've got my eye on, and I want to see, how, if that develops any way that I need to nip in the bud, like as a parent, you're trying to not only, fix the wrongs that were done in your adolescence, right? To raise your kids better than you were raised, but then you're also trying to look a little bit ahead to see what they're heading towards that they don't have a clue's coming yet. Like what habits they're just starting to matriculate or build that we got to nip early. So to the, the point of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Now, the product now, I know, when I look at this product, I think the first thing I think is this is a great product for family time. And I know that you guys were talking about, a lot of people have these bigger fire pits in their backyard or whatnot. And, parents may be tired from the day and don't want to go out and light the thing up and get all the product ready, all that kind of stuff they're doing. But this is so much easier to just kind of put out on the back patio, light it up and you're ready to go. And I think that's really, really cool. So I think about this product. I think about how much easier it is for families to really get together and bond, right?
Absolutely. And you can take it anywhere, but quickly to your point of that quick family time is like, you could truly have dinner inside or, even better outside, but after dinner, pop outside in the backyard or, and light this up for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody eats s'mores for dessert, slide the lid over, you're done. You're not waiting 20 minutes with a starter log, which, trust me, there are plenty of times where I'd love to be out in a much bigger fire than what we're selling. Like that are way cool, cooler nights with 20 people around a bonfire on the beach. There's nothing better than that. But, we can, slide into the city atmosphere or anywhere, in your purse. We've had a ton of people use it for like in their bug out bags, so many different uses than we ever thought.
Like a lot of places. It's fun. My sister's birthday is in November. and we were at a house and it had an outdoor porch, and we put them, because it's COVID time, we don't know how close we need to be. We put a bunch on the table on like trivets and ate outside, and it kicked off enough heat that while we were eating dinner, it was appropriate.
Yeah. That's good. And I love that you brought up that you can take it anywhere. I mean, I put this thing in my car and I can take it anywhere we want. So if we're going to the beach or something like that, and we want to have a little or the park, even the park, you can't have a bonfire at the park, right?
Yep.
So instead of finding all the fire logs and, like you said, the starter kits and all, whatever you need, you just throw this in the car and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So I commend you guys for doing that. Now, tell me a little bit about your backstory, though, because I want to know about how you were raised. I mean, you're talking about, your parents had their own businesses. I mean, how did that go for you? I mean, what kind of a background with your own family did you have with your own parents?
I have a sister. I grew up in a small town, like 10, 15,000 people over on the Eastern Shore, Maryland. Parents were together until my late 20s. I went to college at Clemson University, and then moved to DC and started working. And so, but my dad, because he had his own business, and my mom, because she had her own business, they had a lot more freedoms than people who work, 9 to 5s for other people had. So for me, that was normal, people having their own business. I went through my schooling and ended up working mostly for other people in my career. And so that was something that was always in the back of my head. I knew that I had seen it differently. You know what I mean? I knew I had seen life play out differently. I just couldn't figure out how to transition out of the W-2 world into the self-employment world. And so, it was an opportunity I was looking for. And so this was the opportunity that showed itself. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. How about you?
I grew up in Germantown, Maryland. Incredible parents. I couldn't be luckier, as just like Michael. My sister her name's Ashley, a couple years younger than I am. Great. We have a great relationship. Both of my parents worked incredibly hard growing up. They still do. That is exactly what I hope my son learns from this, is what we were saying is what I learned from my parents growing up. But at the same time, they were at every single one of my practices and games and any event that I ever did. So that's what I want to take out of, what I learned growing up and put into Brooks's life.
Right.
So I couldn't have asked for anything better. So it really was great growing up.
And the fact that we're home now and not traveling, Chris traveled a fair amount for his work as well.
Yeah, but even still not having to drive into the city, half hour each way, every day.
I can drive. We drive them to school. That was something we weren't doing prior. So they're getting a lot more of our time, and that's really probably the biggest win for me.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that kind of leads me to my next question. And that's, as somebody who's two guys that have just come up with their own business and their own product, for any parents out there that are kind of thinking about this, how do you guys balance that time? Because I know you guys talk about, you guys were in the garage, developed this product from 8 a.m. till 11 o'clock at night, eating food in there and all that kind of stuff. But how are you guys balancing your time with your family and your kids?
We hired a couple guys that look a lot like us. We do our best, in the mornings, we wake up and have our time with them. We each, his son takes the bus to school, but he drops his daughter off. I take my son to school as we go into the warehouse. So we have our time in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we try to be home by 4:30 or 5. And, spend the afternoon with them, and, we're putting them to bed, and we're trying to do as much as we can. And this kind of goes back to, I'd rather make a little bit less money at the business and spend more time at home. The whole point of all this is to have more freedom, not to work more and make more money. Right. I want to work less and make a little bit less, so we have incredible people at our warehouse that are working, we have people working from 7 in the morning till 8 at night, multiple shifts. So we're able to be home, and that's an extreme blessing there.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, I want to ask you guys, tell my listeners where they can find, a little bit more about City Bonfires, if they want to pick the product up, any of that kind of stuff. What's the best place for them to do that?
Our website is citybonfires.com. You can order everything right on there. We have there is a spot on the website that shows all of our retail locations. We sell like a ton of like little boutique shops and different, like some random Ace Hardwares throughout the country. We do have some larger chains that we're in talks with now to be on the shelves, but that's not going to be until the spring anyway. But there's plenty. There's online, and then we're also on Amazon as well.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. Now, what's next? I know you guys have said you guys are thinking about different things. What do you think's the next move for you guys in this business?
I think the immediate move is to the bigger place. And so there we're going to size up some stuff to increase our capacities with the logistical problems that we're dealing with. We're just trying to kind of batten down the hatches, so to speak, on like, our supplies in. But we have one other idea we're working on that may be a little bit more food based, but it's in the preliminary parts.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, listen, guys, Chris, Michael, I appreciate you guys being on Dad Up. I really do. I wish you guys all the best. Appreciate the product. And, listen, for my listeners, my viewers, if you guys haven't picked up this product yet, make sure you check it out. Go to their website and check it out and pick it up, because it's just a really neat product for not only your kids, but that family quality time. And that's what Dad Up podcast is all about, is how are we getting more quality time with our kids. So thank you guys very much. It's absolutely an honor and pleasure to know you guys. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys in the future and what you guys continue to do.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thanks so much for your time, man. We appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to the Dad Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next weekly episode. While you're at it, leave a rating and review. And if you know someone this show can help, be sure to share it with them. Want to learn more? Check out the website at daduptribe.com or leave Bryan a message on Instagram at daduppodcast.